In a world where everything is connected, where everything is equally excellent, where performance is reaching perfection, there's only one space left to innovate in: you. Right now, you are a central point in the raging tornado of change fueled by digitization, mobilization, augmentation, disintermediation, automation. Well, the list goes on. Science fiction is becoming science fact. Think about self-driving cars or computers that can learn and think. The way we work will never be the same. The skills we need will be dramatically different. Winning or losing are now happening faster than ever before. So what's your response? How will you discover new opportunities in one of the most transformational times in human history? Are you driving change, or are you being driven by it? Disruption has become the new normal. With change, it's always gradually, then suddenly, well, things really have stopped happening gradually. This change is exponential. Everything that used to be dumb and disconnected is now wired and intelligent. Cars, cities, ports, farms, even our bodies will be wired with sensors and will talk to each other. These game changers are also combinatorial. They amplify each other, creating a perfect storm of change. Quantum computing fuels big data. The Internet of Things fuels artificial intelligence and deep learning, which fuels robotics. However, anything that cannot be digitized or automated will become extremely valuable. Human-only traits such as creativity, imagination, intuition, emotion, and ethics will be even more important in the future, because machines are very good at simulating, but not at being. Yes, robots and software will do some of our work, but this will allow us to focus on things that cannot be automated. To imagine change squared, you've got to start engaging more with what might be, not just with what is. Immerse yourself in the immediate future, 5 to 7 years out from today. We need to go beyond technology and data to reach human insights and wisdom. Technology represents the how of change, but humans represent the why. The future is about holistic business model. The opportunity is to be liquid, to learn just in time, not just in case, not single improvements, but complete transformations, not individual systems, but new ecosystems. Humanity is where true and lasting value is created. We will engage, rate, and buy things because of the experiences they provide, because of their transformative power. The future doesn't just happen, the future gets happened. The new way to work is to embrace technology, but not to become it. The future is in technology, yet the bigger future lies in transcending it. Let's live and lead from here.
What are you feeling like? Are there fears? Are there excitement? Anyone want to volunteer? Yes.
At the moment, there's so much opportunity with digital revolution in a way, but it's also detracting from people as an individual, as beings themselves, because social media in particular has become rampant and people aren't being able to control how much information they're digesting or the true validity of that information. So the spread of information is bigger than ever, but the spread of the non-facts is just as well. So people are becoming very confused as to whether the progress or actually the receding of knowledge in particular.
I like that. I agree with you completely. So you have this information overload, and how do you sift through all that clutter? What's actually relevant to you in your world and what isn't? Anyone else? Thank you. Yes.
I feel excited about the digital revolution, especially with regard to data analysis and AI that helps predicting, especially being scientists. And there's so much information that can be worked. I don't feel that it's a threat at all, because the type of work we do we can't be replaced by robots, but it can add to helping us figure stuff out. So I'm very excited about it.
Absolutely, and I agree with you. And that's just not in your fraternity, it's also in the talent acquisition, the human capital management space. There's so much happening there, and we'll have a look at some weird and wonderful things that are happening in overseas when it comes to robotic interviewing and all of those good things as well. But the empathy and all those other personal inherent qualities and drivers, that's what you're looking for. And for me, I have a few fears. The fears that we're not actually moving quickly enough in order to address the new world of work. There's also the educational institutions that I feel might be lagging a little bit with getting the entry-level people into not only coming into the tertiary educational institutions, but that is a little bit of a concern for me because we are moving quickly. And then also the fact that, you know, there's highly technical, critical skills out there, and they're driving top dollar, which is a little bit problematic at this stage because, again, we have a mismatch of skills in terms of people, a lot of unemployed people, but not necessarily living up and having the skill set that companies are looking for. So let's just have a look at what we're going to cover today. So the introduction, we've covered the fourth industrial revolution. We're going to touch on the SA labour market. The role of the roaring 20s, the recruiter, is also important because recruitment has changed exponentially. And there's huge driving factors on chief human resources officers to actually plug into companies meeting objectives and profitability. And there's a big driving force behind those chiefs as well as their team. It's not just paper pushing nowadays. It's about how do your people impact on bottom line. So very important to actually cover that so that you know who you are dealing with if you're going to agencies or corporate recruiters. You need to understand what you're dealing with. The profile has changed. Personal branding is essential, and we're going to go into that quite deeply. And personal branding is going to be woven through your CVs, your interviews, the way you network, the tools you use. That needs to be kept top of mind because you are a brand. Each and every one of you are a brand. Understand that. And it's your choice on how you're going to put yourself out there. The power behind transferable skills. I think people underestimate how much transferable skills you actually have outside of your knowledge and your qualifications and that. There's an insurmountable amount that you're overlooking. So we're going to have a look at that as well. And I'm going to push you for some answers because I want to get the creative juices going. We're going to talk about the CV structure, which I know a lot of people like to talk about the wrongs, the rights, the longs, the shorts, the errors, how to, how not to. We're going to have a break there. And then we're going to move into the channels. How do you actually market yourself? And here again, companies are trying to master which channels they can use to reach talent like you. But that's one side of it. You need to know where to be in order to make that connection. The social media personal brand audit. I don't know if Martina's going to allow you to put your phones on, but I'm going to ask you to actually team up, and I want you to do a quick audit of yourself as well in terms of the public space. How are you looking out there? Because that's the first place that recruiters do go to see the authentic you. Networking, getting the most out of these channels. Where do you start? Where do you start? How do you go about paving your way into the world of work? The interview is essential, and it's not about just getting in your car and driving there. There's a lot of prep work that needs to be done, and this is the make or break. And then finally, enclosures and questions. Anyone have questions at this stage? No? Can we fire ahead? Okay, wonderful. So let's talk about our environment that we're working in at the moment. We do have a timeless human capital problem. And it's not just in South Africa, it's worldwide. I've been to summits, I've been to conferences, I hear this universally that there is, every country is faced with the political, social, the technological, every country has got their problems. I mean, we won't use the coronavirus as a rude word right now, but that in itself gives you an indication of how something can impact and you don't have control over that. The high demand of scarce skills, as I said, you know what they want, and there's not enough of those skills out there. So what are companies doing about that? And is there opportunity for you to move in there? We've got a mismatch of unemployable talent. What are companies doing in order to skill up for the workplace? There's a lot of pressure at the moment from a social and economic well-being of all stakeholders, whether you are candidates or whether you are employees. So there's a big focus by companies, again, universally, on how they deal with people, retaining them so they don't jump ship for a better package. Overseas, they're sitting in America with a 2 to 3% unemployment rate. Yeah, the odds are a bit different, as we know, but they also have their problems because people will move and shop around for a better package. So what does that mean? It's important for companies to look after their talent there, but it's also important for companies to package what's on offer, and it's important for those candidates to know what they're really going to get out of working there. We in a workplace of 5 generations for the first time, guys. So right from baby boomers, right through millennials to your Gen Z that's now entered into the workplace. Complex environment when it comes to recruiters that are trying to navigate in attracting the talent they're looking for. Because whilst I don't like boxing people into certain generations, there are certain traits that come through on behaviors when it comes to the various generations and how to connect with them. If you understand how people are appealing to you in the workplace or in the job-seeking market, you'll be able to read them and connect accordingly. We've got the rise of the alternate workforce. It's becoming mainstream now. And again, not only globally, but in South Africa, there is a huge shift from freelance to gig to contractors because companies aren't finding the talent. So take me, for example. Yes, I'm running my own company, but I can, if I was a contractor standalone, I'd be running 3 or 4 or 5 projects at one time, but I'd be working on these projects with 4 other specialists. So they're cherry picking different people with different skill sets, bringing them together on a project with an ultimate result and objective and letting them go. Then those people move into other forms of employment. The graduates entering into the workplace, there is the missing power skills. And that's why on the agenda we're going to chat about transferable skills. There's a guy called Josh Bershin, he's from Deloitte. He's written so many articles on not calling them soft skills. They are your power skills. They're your power skills to think creatively. Transferable skills mean that you can go anywhere in the world and you can transfer those skills. It doesn't mean it's only applicable to one world at work. It can be applicable everywhere else. So this is the kind of market we are faced with. And it's about how you guys are going to navigate around this. There's the multiple generations I was talking about. And it's interesting. It's interesting being on the other side as a brand specialist or a recruiter or as a sorcerer to find the talent, because is different ways of appealing. It's almost like a consumer mentality, targeting your market accordingly. So, the roaring 20s. Where are we at the moment when it comes to your recruiters? What are they doing? How are they wired now that we're in 2020? Your talent teams are completely different to how they used to be as HR practitioners. You've got the Chief Human Resources Officer that sits right at the top. She does all the strategic thinking. She sits with the chairman at the boardroom table and hears how the people need to actually drive bottom line. You've got a new emerging talent specialist called a sourcer. The sourcer is separate to the recruiter. That is the person that sources talent. And I've got a business associate who does purely sourcing training with recruiters. They use Boolean strings and they use all these wonderful kinds of pieces of technology in order to fathom out how to find this talent. And it's an art on its own. They've got huge days, summits and conferences happening in Portugal this year. And it's all around sourcing. It's all around sourcing, how to find talent, because it's about pulling them out from where and all the different channels. And why I'm telling you this is because you need to be in those places where they are looking, where they are searching and scratching. The pressure on recruiters and talent teams they are now being looked at as trusted advisors. So when they go to hiring managers, or if they're service providers and they come to apply, they have to get proper briefs. They need to understand the culture over and above, the transferable skills over and above the qualifications. There's even so many articles being written at the moment on, do we hide those tangible skills and look purely at transferable skills? Because you can hire behavior and you can train the skill. Yes, you need the qualification, but again, it's about attitude and it's about how you make those transferable skills work for you. It's beyond the obvious tangible skills that companies are looking for. So, what about it? Why am I telling you all of this? Why do so what? I needed to put together a background, the playing fields of where you are navigating into, what you are dealing with when it comes to personalities, when it comes to the workplace environment, our new world at work, and what it's like how do you appeal to these people. So understanding that is hopefully going to give you a good insight on how to connect properly. And that is what I'm wanting to achieve today. So let's again have a look at the new world.
Morning, Jill.
Good morning, Amy. Where would you like to work today?
The office. What's the weather like today?
The temperature is 18 degrees with a 57% chance of rain. Are you ready to start your day?
Give me 10 minutes.
Okay. How would you like to get there?
I'll walk.
Do you want to ride?
No, I'm good.
Thank you. Careful, Amy. Obstacle ahead. Nearly there. Good time, Amy.
Good morning, Amy. Welcome to JLR. You have one message from William Douglas.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Your first meeting is at 10:30. Please proceed to the elevators. Have a good day.
And you.
Lisa is in today. Lunch?
Good for me.
In right scent. Have you seen the latest report?
No.
Your coffee will be ready in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Thank you.
Tip sent. This building uses sensors to make your day more productive. Need a desk?
Maybe
later. Sure. How's the temperature?
It's fine.
Ready to start your meeting with Eloise Dupont?
I am indeed.
I'll let her know.
Bonjour Amy, ça va?
Bonjour, Eloise. Hold on.
Auto-translating.
Vous avez vérifié le document que je vous ai envoyé?
Yeah, all looks great. Thanks very much. Au revoir.
Bonne journée, au revoir, merci.
Are you happy to share your building usage data today? Have a great evening, Amy.
Plan for route home.
Stop navigation.
Navigation off.
Send a message to Tom. Are we still okay for the meeting tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock?
Message sent. Would you like to switch to personal mode?
Yes, please.
Personal mode. Work mode returns 7 a.m. tomorrow.
Confirm.
Have a nice evening, Amy. Enjoy the sunset.
Good night, Jill.
Give me a feeling. No? Yes?
No, it feels very personal.
Yes, it does. Exactly that. I was shouted down at an employee engagement summit that I attended. People looked at me horrified when I said, I don't like that environment. I wouldn't like to work there. No, but why?
Kind of makes me think of there's an animated film that came out, Wall-E.
Yes.
And it's heading to the same thing. But there's no personal interaction, whatever. Everything's done through technology. It's a bit terrifying.
It's very impersonal,
Yeah.
right? So when people say, well, the robots are going to take over, I laugh because I say you're never going to get behind the fact that, first of all, you need humans to create the intelligence behind the technology, right? And you need people, one mode of channeling and communicating it doesn't fit the bill. Some people enjoy being communicated with via WhatsApp, some via whatever, YouTube, via whatever, meeting via Zoom, etc. Everyone's got their preferred modes of communication and working. So I think it really depends on the environment, it depends on the culture. I think it's pretty far-fetched, a bit futuristic, but it can be real. It can be a real, but I agree with you, very clinical environment. So, with that said, let's chat about personal branding. I've put up a whole lot of different faces here. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Again, what is it? What kind of emotional connection do you have with them, or what kind of brand or personality stands out for you? What are his personality traits, if you have a look at him? Do you see success?
Adventurous.
Adventurous, absolutely. Absolutely. What about Lady Gaga?
Controversial?
Controversial, absolutely.
Which is genuine.
Hi. What about Steve Jobs?
Very clinical.
Clinical?
Innovation.
Innovation, absolutely.
But it's innovation, but it's grabbing your opportunity. I wouldn't say innovation. He saw the gap in the market.
There we
He
go.
wasn't necessarily interested in it, and he went for it.
Exactly.
Opportunistic.
Yes, opportunistic.
I think Steve Jobs is an interesting one, but I think he also has this disruptor
Yes.
mentality. He's not afraid to shake the boat a bit.
There we go. So, again, let's think back to the professor's opening speech. Have a look at her as a personal brand. I mean, how is that? I mean, she won me over immediately, but she's worked long and hard. She's put long yards in there, and she saw opportunity, and she saw gaps, and she went for it. She didn't miss the boat in any way, but there's a certain aura and a personal brand that she carries. You don't have to tell me what it is, but you've all got that picture in front of you. You look at me. There's a personal brand that I'm carrying through. You either like me or you don't like me. You either think I'm intelligent, you think I'm not intelligent. You might think I'm not a subject matter specialist as much as I profess to be. But where have I got to? I mean, how have I got here? It's about looking at opportunity. It's about having failures. It's about falling down, picking yourself up and saying, I'm going to overcome this because I know there's opportunity. So, and grabbing it. Being a futurist. That's what it's all about. It's about being a futurist. And you don't necessarily have to work for a company to put that out there. The biggest threat at the moment, and this came through data-led insights for large multinationals and national organizations, is that startups are stealing all the best talent. Interesting one, eh? But you know why? Because talent knows what they want. Talent is saying, I want purpose. I don't want to be a link in the chain. I want to be rubbing shoulders with the decision makers, and I want to, together with the CEO, be making decisions with this company. I don't want to just be paper pushing or being a departmental person that has no say, where I cannot actually see the end result. So I'm going off on a bit of a tangent here, but anyway, but that's just good information for you to know. So, how do we establish a personal brand? And I think you need to take light of this. Again, I drive purpose. If you do not have a purpose, if you cannot get up in the morning and say, this is my purpose, this is what I want to achieve, you're just going to, every day is going to melt from one day into the next, and you're not going to be moving forward. You have to self-manage yourself. Self-discovery. What do you want? Look at those insights that came through from Finette that she showed. You have to have direction, guys. You have to start discovering. What is it that you want in life? Where do you want to go with your occupation? What kind of company do you want to join? What kind of value are they offering? Over and above, again, to those insights, money. It's work-life balance. That's where we are moving to. It's integrated. Our lives are blurred at the moment. I'll listen, I'll be cooking supper, but I'll also be listening to a webinar at the same time. That's how I roll. I multitask. I do that. Yeah? You do the same? And I'm not even your generation, but I've been pulled along by my Gen Zs. I don't have an option by default. I'm in the same boat as them. And, you know, that's how they roll. So our lives are so, you know, you listen to podcasts while you're in traffic. This is how life continues. So self-awareness as well. What is it that, you know, you stand for? Personal brand, again. Self-expression. And this comes through not only through paper-driven CVs or maybe interviews or networking and that. It's about all those channels we're going to talk about. Then self-promotion, huge thing when it comes to how do you get yourself out there in the workplace. Self-confidence, networking, very, very big. Have you got the confidence to get yourself out there? If not, what are you going to do about it? How are you going to build those confidence levels? I feel that if I'm not learning something each day, I'm actually a failure to myself. And I'm going to be left behind. I actually get quite angst. So I go onto Udemy and I do the social media courses. I've joined Toastmasters because I still feel that I cannot speak properly in public. I feel like I need to brush up. So what I'm saying is it's about continuous learning, and no one's going to hand it to you once you leave the institution or leave university. It's ongoing. You have to decide what that route is going to be. It's about translating those soft skills into the workplace. identifying them, first of all, and we're going to talk about that. How do you identify those transferable skills, and how do you put it to play? How do you make the match?
Often I find when it comes to transferable skills, you will be the one who's the least knowledgeable of your own skills, but everyone else will be able to perceive them. Particularly in science, one of the biggest transferable skills is interpersonal communication. Because even if you are an introvert, the fact that we as students or graduates can talk to someone ranging from a high schooler to the vice chancellor, that is a very, very important skill. The ability to communicate different levels of education.
Exactly. And I touch on that as well. So I agree with you, 100%. And we're going to do a little bit of a self-assessment after these slides now. It's, again, thinking outside of the theoretical and being mindful, being resourceful, you know, not underestimating, undervaluing, or negating. You know, even if you get people to say to you, listen, do you think I've got soft skills, and where do they sit, do you think? You know, get your colleagues and that who are with you all the time, because they be the ones. Okay, so companies are looking to recruit talent who have these behaviors and attitudes and abilities, and you just have to look now at this list at missed opportunities. Now, I was fortunate, a little birdie told me where to look in terms of sourcing this information on transferable skills for PhDs, and this came from the Cheeky Scientist Association. Again, if we have a look at, let's unpack information management. The ability to gather, assess, evaluate, interpret, and then communicate technical and scientific data is something PhDs are trained to do. That's what you're doing. But don't overlook the fact that when you go and announce yourself at an interview that you're not stating that. Because sometimes you forget to do that. You take it for granted. It becomes a way of life. It's just accepted. Time management. You're working on projects all the time. You've got deadlines. Project management. You're working on research projects all the time. You're required to research. You have to manage your time, your budget. You might have a team of colleagues in that where you need to pull on their skills and their weaknesses, their strengths. What are they good at? So as team players, where do they sit? So very important to apply that thinking. And then teamwork and collaboration. This is considered as one of the most important transferable skills in the workplace. And if you don't have it now, you need to be conscious of it so that you can start working on it and developing it. Client interfacing, also very, very important. Now, it doesn't mean when I say client interfacing, you're going to be out there selling products necessarily. It's about how you're engaging, how you're translating your message, that data, that research, that publication. How are you translating it to those people that count? How do you build those working relationships? Because obviously that is essential to getting buy-in and to moving yourself forward in a career. In a professional manner, the lack of the ability to translate and to engage is essential. Strategic planning, the need to forecast short and long-term goals. PhDs know how to act upon information and plan multiple research projects based on a changing and moving deadline, the feedback, etc. Any questions there? Because what I'm going to do now, I know I'm going to check in with Martina now in terms of time. I want you to go and get into thinking pairs. Okay, this is a self-assessment. And I want you, I'm not going to put that screen up again, because I want you to use your creative thinking in terms of what transferable skills you think you have. That you actually undervalue or you haven't even thought of until I've stood up here and said, you know what, you've all got unique, transferable skills. So I don't know how much time we've got to put aside. We've got no time. And we've been talking so much. Got verbal diarrhea, sorry. Got an audience and I can't stop talking. Okay, so how about discussing this at tea time? And I'm going to ask for some feedback. Even if you give me one, I'll be happy with that. But I'm not going to share what I showed up there. I want unique ones. Yeah? Did you enjoy that?
Yeah.
Yeah? Do you find that interesting? Do you find it informative? Is it hitting home? You don't have to say yes, just for the sake of it. I'm a big girl, I can take any bags. Yes, okay. So what we're going to do is get into the nitty-gritty, the how-to of our tea break. Thank you.
I'll just add one housekeeping rule that I didn't mention at the beginning. During the coffee break, when you hear a bell ringing, it's time to come back here. We are starting 10:30 again.